Drugs, villain Rehab. Without any control over his mind, Izuku went haywire. With his quirk was limited to a small percentage, he couldn't do anything but go crazy even more. What was worse was that the love was all behind this. They got Izuku off the streets because of his quirk and gave him drugs, making him addicted and forgetting what was reality and what not. It was thanks to this that he himself was stronger than any Nomu and deadlier than anything else. However, due to the love giving him the daily drug, Izuku managed to get back his sanity. Question is, how will he react and how will he get out of being a villain which he never wanted to be? This is a MHA fan story, hope you enjoy. Please also feel free to correct my bad writing. Rights on the pictures go to the artist. I do not own MHA, rights to the owner. Chapter 1. Lost. Izuku's POV unless said otherwise. I didn't had any feeling in my hands, nor did I had any control over my mind. It all felt like a blur to me. It all was so surreal to me. I wish there was light at the end of this tunnel, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing made sense at all. There were so many lights, so many people and so many screams. I didn't know where I was, but I knew what my mission was. Was it something good or something bad? I didn't know. Where was I even? Did that matter anyways? Kurogiri had dropped me into a forest and I looked around. They told me burn and burn everything but to get this one dandelion. Who did they mean with dandelion? I didn't know. Did I had to know? Who knows? There was this one thing that I knew though. I felt it inside me each and every day. I was losing myself slowly. It was hard to stay calm and myself. With each passing day the pain inside me grew and grew. I wanted to release it. I wanted to burn everything. My flames, my quirk, it was hurting me. I felt caged in and I couldn't control it anymore. I needed to get out of this and I had to just let go, but there was no way I could do that with the quirk cancellation collar I was wearing. It hurt and I wanted it down. With each passing minute it started to numble at my sanity. This burning desire to just let go and be indulged by the flames. It was pulling at me, but I knew I had to be strong. I needed to fight or I would lose myself. That was what the love wanted, and even though I couldn't think straight, I still had a bit of sanity still left. While I was running through the forest giggling like a little girl putting everything into flames, I came across a guy with spiky hair. He seemed family, but I couldn't remember. My head started to spin and I had a headache. It was time to get him without question asked. I couldn't think after all. "Who the fuck are you?" "Me. Hehehe." I wasn't thinking straight, but I used the white flames around myself to get at him. Explosions could be heard and all I could was smile and laugh at the sight of this guy trying to do something. He seemed like a small dog to me. Barking and not biting at all. "Me. You coming with me?" That was all I said before I started charging at him. Was this my mission? Was I done after this? I didn't know. What I did know was that my head started spinning and I started feeling bad. It was a sign of withdrawal. I needed the sweet elixir they were giving me. I needed it to forget the pain and my sorrow. Die fucking villain. The explosion was aimed straight at my face, and thanks to my own flames I started to merge them into my own so that the fight flames passed my body and didn't burn me at all. This was my quirk's protection after all. This was who I was, but at a very low level. My back hurt and I felt hot. I needed to relieve some more fire. I had to get rid of it, and yet I couldn't. "The fuck?" he screamed when I grabbed his head and pushed him down with a smile at my face. Now thinking about, he seemed like a small and anxious puppy. I thought I might keep him. Still, his attitude was familiar. Why couldn't I remember him? Who was he? A headache started to drive me crazy and I gave up remembering. I didn't even know who I was. Was this important? I didn't know. Should I know it? I don't know. What I knew was that I should bring him back. So I did what I had to do and grabbed this dandelion by the collar and started dragging him off into the woods while using my white flames to make a path for us. Was I hurting him? Were my flames dangerous? I didn't know. I felt hot. I had to get rid of this warmth. It was too much for me. While I started to get back at the dropping place, I started to burn more and more wood. It felt good but also weird. Something was wrong, but I couldn't tell what it was. Was I the reason for it? Was I doing something wrong? I didn't know. Once I got to the dropout zone I found Kurogiri already awaiting me. He opened a portal and looked at me. Was he expecting something? I don't know. My body felt itchy and stuffy. I felt hot and I wanted to burn more. I want to reel some more flames. Was this wrong? I didn't know. Kurogiri. Good work, Zero. I wanted to respond but my mind blanked out and he took Bakugo from me. It hurt. It hurt so much. I felt caged in again the moment I saw him. It felt as if my freedom was never mine and that I was just a prisoner. Was this how things should be? Was I supposed to be here? What was I even doing here? How did I get here? I didn't know. What I knew was that I was back at the love basement. There was where my place was and there was where they would give me sweet salvation right after they came back. Or so I thought. Chapter 2. Surprise. I waited hours for the love to came and give me what I needed but no one came. The headache stopped all of the sudden which surprised me and while in these hours, I felt so much pain it all had stopped in a matter of seconds. I didn't know what was happening but my mind was as sharp as ever. Was it hours or days though? I didn't know. It didn't matter at all. Where the heck am I? What happened? My head. Why is everything spinning? What's with the collar? My quirk. Damn it. Who did this? For the first time in ever I felt alive and I felt as if I was myself. This was so rare and yet I've been waiting for this opportunity to happen for a very very long time now. I didn't know where I was but I knew I had to get away and out of there. Now looking around myself, I saw that I was in a basement and in cage too. It didn't make much sense at all. The last thing I really remember was meeting this guy with rather pale and dry skin. He offered me a place in his team. I was supposed to do something but I can't remember what it was anymore. I could remember just small pieces but not everything. At least I knew who I was. Even though not every memory was back, it was still better than nothing. Without thinking twice I went to the cage and grabbed the bars. This was nothing to me. Who even put me there was an idiot. You think this will stop me? Who do you think you are? Why even put me here? I am a human being too. As I was thinking that I had a screaming coming from above me. It sounded as if someone was tortured and I got chills hearing this. I couldn't even remember what I did myself or what I was supposed to do here but this wasn't a place I wanted to be. My instincts were telling me to run and get out of there. This was why I burned the bars down and got out of the cage. I guess, I had to get upstairs. Yeah. Let's be vigilant though. Who knows where I am? I had to get out of here. It didn't took to be a genius to know that I was in a dangerous situation. I knew that whatever was going on with me, they would come and do whatever they did with me until now. I had no intention of staying even a day longer in here. So I broke the door down after seeing it was locked. All it took was to burn it down and get out. Of course there were people there looking at me for some reasons. Their names popped up in my mind too. Toga. Oh look, Izubabe's here. Dabi. Damn it, why the heck you here? Spinner. He can't understand you with how much we give him of the drug. Drug? You drugged me? No wonder I feel dizzy, fuzzy and my headache is starting to kill me. Dabi. Get back down. That is an order. I looked at him and was definitely finding that funny. Did he really think I would take order? Then he was so wrong. I just stretched out my arm and all of the sudden white flames came all around. The shock collar that was around my neck went off on and on and on and it started to annoy me. So I grabbed the collar and used all the strength that I got to burn it down from my neck. I hated it and thankfully that worked, otherwise it would be bad. Dabi. Shit. Toga. Shit. Dabi, do something. Dabi. What? You know he is a beast. Toga. Get Shiggy. The door opened from the side and I saw that handyman aka Shiggy or Shigaraki came out. It was clear that this was the man who got me in trouble. He was the one that offered me salvation but instead enslaved me. He seemed pleased until he saw me. Too bad that I didn't had any intention of playing nice with them at all. Shigaraki. Kurogiri. Get him back to his place. Oh, you think? I want to see you come closer to me. I started activating my quirk more and more, knowing that if I would use it completely then it would burn down my own skin. It would definitely backfire on me, seeing that my wings were ruined and hidden for so long. It was dangerous and deathly to me to show them now. So what I could do instead was actually heat up the air around me and put the flames around myself. They were protected me, and so this guy that was warping everyone, Kurogiri, couldn't come closer to me. Instead I tried to burn him. Dark matter. It looks more like mist. If it is like powder then it can be burned. Let's see how you like this. I will pay you all back the way you treated me and for what you all have done to me. As I was about to attack even more, a knock on the door could be heard which froze them all done but me. There was no way I would let myself be distracted, and so I charged at this guy who was responsible for everything. I was too naive back then to have followed him. I wanted to believe him, and here I was. This is what I got for that. Pizza delivery. Toga. Who ordered pizza? Dabi. Fuck delivery, we got another problem. Toga. Why you screaming at me? It was at that moment that they got a creature they called Nomu to appear and get after me. I couldn't see it coming until it grabbed me and ran with me through the door, breaking it down and going on and on till it threw me against the next building. One thing was for sure. This was far from over, and I was currently surrounded by heroes. Both were not the best things. To top that one off, I felt tired, and I knew the clear thinking that I had right now wouldn't last for a lot longer. Who knew for how long I was actually taking the drug, but I felt my flames eating at me more and more. It was a question of time till I would lose control, and I could just hope that it wouldn't be now. Chapter 3. Out of Control. That Nomu was really getting on my nerve, because not only did he throw me basically with it charging at me busting through the door, but it sent me also flying away with a punch afterwards till I hit the damn wall of the opposite building and fell down. Me. Tisk, you think this will save you? I don't care if you were human ones or not. You are lost now. I was ready to fight this beast if not for the heroes which started to approach me and that thing running at me too. It was honestly getting on my nerves so much. Then there was the fact that I still didn't let go of my quirk at all. I still felt it nagging at me. I let out a battle scream as I started to release a bit of heat. It was as simple as that, but it was also not, because the floor started melting beneath me as I charged at the Nomu. By now the heroes were focusing on the villains more than me. I was too focused on that damn thing to be even considered a threat at all. Pathetic. How dare you fight me? Arg, my head. The withdrawal effect was still there, and it was only a moment that I felt myself getting lost to it again. I knew that this fight had to be a quick one or I would actually lose myself completely. This was something I really didn't want at all. Not now, not ever. Come at me. That was all I said before I slid down on the floor and bruising the skin of the Nomu by a single touch. Of course I knew that this wasn't all. I knew that this was only scratching the iceberg, but this was all I could do without getting myself out of control. So I started to fight and dodge the attack of the Nomu while the heroes started slowly to approach us. Get away. A warning that was all I could do, but that was the least thing I could actually do. I felt my quirk taking over my body. I felt hot and I felt cold at the same time. Everything was a bit spinning and I knew I had to release the fire. So with all due respect, I started to run away a bit to get the Nomu in position. I killed too many people and I knew that I killed them. The drug made me do what they want, but it never killed myself. It was there. I knew it. My conscience knew it. There was no need to kill anyone anymore, so I started to get away and clear an opening, or so I thought, if not for the Nomu to actually grab me and threw me up in the air. Shit. It was just a split second I was up, but it was not to use my whole quirk and get into a berserk state of mind. It just couldn't hold it in anymore, but the only thing that I could do now was focus. I might have lost control over my quirk, but not over my mind, not yet at least. I had to kill it. I had to get away. I had to. There was nothing stopping me as I had my flaming wings open. They were not my true wings, only a display of them, as my wings were hidden for way too long that it started hurting me. I was a phoenix, to be precise. My healing was top-notch, but with the drug in my system there was actually nothing I could do anymore. My work was out of hand for now. So when I was up in the air, a spitting image of my wings appeared for a second before these foams vanished and I made everything around me melt. Not even lava was this hot and the Nomu as dumb as it was came towards me. It was no way or never and I knew it. This was how I released every bit of heat and flames I had. Everything I got in me and everything that was pent up. There was a chance that this would kill me, but if not, then that meant that I would survive and this damn thing was over. I had to risk it. My freedom was at stake. There was no other way. This was something I knew, and so I closed my eyes, breathed in and out, before I released every heat I got. In a circle wound me which was probably 3 meters in diameter, everything went down to ashes and I meant everything. Things started to melt and burn and this Nomu dissolved as it was too hot for it until it burned down into ashes and I broke down at my knees. This was all I got and this was as far as I would get, for now. While I fell down on my knees I saw someone run up at me. It was that trash, or so I thought, until he came towards me to spread the heat. Dabi. Izuku. There was another person there. It was Endeavor from what I could see, but my eyelids were heavy and there was no way I could hold on to my conscience for much longer. Dabi. Dad, don't touch him. His flames are hotter than ours. Endeavor. You had a freaking kid hostage? Dabi. Not my idea, and you know I was undercover there. Undercover. I will still not forget this. You are the next one. Be prepared. You created me after all. It was all of you. I will pay you all back bit by bit. A tooth for a tooth and a life for a life after all. I will get back at you all. Just you wait. This was all I heard until I blacked out completely. It was a bit shocking to hear that Dabi was actually a hero that was undercover in the love base. It would make sense, but then again I didn't care. I suffered so much that I just didn't care at all. I lost my life and my reputation. They painted me as a villain and I would be the villain they always wanted me to be. I will be more dangerous though. I will hunt them down, including AFO. I will be their retribution when I wake up and get free. I will be their nightmare and the last thing they see. Chapter 4. Question of where? I felt lonely and it was dark. The coldness get to me and I felt it again. My quirk was eating at myself. I wanted to scream but nothing came out of my mouth. I was too tired that. Arg, where am I? Why do I feel this bad? Huh? My quirk. I can feel it being contained again. They gave me quirk cancellation things? Damn it. While I felt that in the pain and coldness coming from it, I also jumped up from wherever I was laying. The lights were out and the room was pretty dark, but it wasn't too dark not to know where I was. This was a cell, a prison cell to be precisely. I always knew I would land in one, but having these on me didn't make it any better. So they got me after I basically killed that Nomu and saved their asses? Well, you're welcome for nothing. Why did you put me in here? Why put these on? If you were already throwing me into prison, then might as well throw me in so I can at least not suffer from my quirk. Standing in the room, I started to look around and that was when I realized something. This room was bigger than a normal cell. It looked more like a dorm room than a prison cell too. Another glance around the room and I could find the cameras that were hidden and watching me. Was I allowed to move? Was I pet stuck in a cage? Well, whatever I was to them, I wouldn't let this be for long. Me, Tisk, this isn't the LOV's doing. They would never throw me in a room for sure. If anything, a cage would be more fitting. There was a small window at the end of the room and I went to it. As small as it was giving me a bit of insight of where I was or how I hoped, but when I got to the window I couldn't see anything besides leaves. A huge tree was rare and all I could see was its tree branches and the leaves coming with it. This doesn't look like I am in the city or a prison. Where the heck am I? As I was trying to grasp my situation, my back and my chest started to hurt. It was my quirk and its flames which were sealed inside me. I wanted to let them go but I could, and so I fell on my knees down on the floor holding my stomach and praying that it would end soon. Salvation never came for me but instead something else. The pain was getting too great to handle. My mind started slipping away from me once again as I was laying there on the ground. Each breath I took was sharp and it was also warming the whole room up. It hurt so much and I wanted to let it go. However, thanks to the quirk cancellation on me, I could do anything at all. Shit, I have to. I need to. I can't hold it on for much longer. I can't lose now. I can't. The mind was a very feeble thing. As powerful as it could be, it was also breaking down rather easily. In my case, the use of drugs that clouded my senses were still affecting me. It was such a long time I was having them and taking them that there was no easy way of just stopping it. I felt it with every single one of my cells. My body wanted it. I needed it, and yet I didn't wanted it too. Me. After what felt like forever, I finally lost the battle with my own mind. My own consciousness was there, and yet I could feel anything at all but my flames, and my quirk took over. I felt the flames erupt from my skin. It was all around me, and yet I couldn't see anything. My vision was black, and all I could feel was my flames. I heard something cracking and busting as they started to get stronger. That was also when the door busted open. Dabi. Izuku. Focus on my voice. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Can't you do something, Eraserhead? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Do I look like I am doing nothing? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Jesus, it's hot. Why was I even called here? Dabi. Because you dumbass of a chicken saw the form of his flames too. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh yeah, they did look like wings. Sigh. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Move over. And Unamori stop standing there like nothing and knock him out. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Nope. My gas is flammable. It would end up in an explosion. That would indeed be the result of it. However, seeing the situation, there is no other way. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Fine. This is your school after all, not mine. That was all I could hear before the door shut again. It was only seconds after that I felt sluggish and sleepy. Usually my flames would keep me going, but whatever this was, knocked me out rather efficient. Not only that, but the room's temporary went up for a split second. That was all I could tell before the pain subsided and my mind was back to normal. The pain stopped. I won for how long? I can't sleep now, but I feel so sleepy. No, get it together. Chapter 5. Reality versus hallucinations. The next time I woke up, I was actually in another room. This time I felt just angry. I was angry for being basically caged in and again have some quirk cancellation things on me. They were bad for my health and my saneliness. While I woke up, I started to see a bit of things which were not there. Why is he here? Why is Kachan here? I still remembered my childhood friend who bullied me to the last bit of sanity. The reason was simple. I was a late bloomer and he was having his way with me. Back then I was labeled as quirkless for a couple of years before the flames erupted, and right now I saw a child Bakugo in front of me. Kachan. Idiot. Who wants to play with you? A waste of space. There was not much I could do than glare at the space where I saw him. However, I wanted to punch him, and the moment I tried to grab the kid's throat, my movement was stopped. The rattling of chains could be heard. Was I actually chained to the bed? Was I in prison now? I didn't know about these things, but I knew for certain that my movement were limited because of something holding me in place. It wasn't only my arms, it were my legs and my torso as well as my throat too. Me. Arg. Burn. Burn this hell down. Oh, how my quirk was urging me to release it. The pain was getting once again stronger, but there was more to it now. Kachan. What's the matter, Deku? Cat got your tongue? As I was still glaring at him, I couldn't get out a single word. The thing was, my own mind was in a blur, and I also started to see things double before everything was shaking and morphing. I felt as if I was on a roller coaster ride, but not a fun one for sure. In all this I started to hear more voices. My mind was blocking the words out, and I saw my mother being there too. Mother. I knew that I should have given you up for adoption. Kachan. Haha. No one wants a waste of space like you. The next thing I know, I saw the love members. They started laughing at me and I started to get more and more furious. I felt my rage perk up and my flames reacting to it too. There was just too much I hated about my situation right now. Needless to say that the voices I heard didn't make things any better. Mother. Look at you. I knew you were meant for nothing. You can't do anything right. Toga. I knew I should have stabbied you. Not even blood would make you beautiful. Kachan. Give it up, nerd, and fucking give in. Each word that I heard spiked the flames inside me, and it wasn't for long that they were too hot for me to handle anymore. It was at that moment that I saw something red coming into my field of vision. For me it looked like a feather, but it was moving so fast, and that motion made me dizzy that I couldn't tell for sure. Hawks. His eyes are dilated. Dobby, get a RG over. I don't think that the sudden change in room temperature is something he is doing intentionally. Dobby. I would do that, but remember what she said? Hawks. You mean the things about withdrawals effect and hallucinations as well, loss of control? Wow. The feather in front of me was only spiking my anger, and it was also a bit too close to me for Con4 that I just made it catch flames. In seconds the things was burned to ashes, and I could also hear Somain jumping back. Reality and hallucinations both were surreal for me right now. I couldn't say what was what and if I was in my right mind, but I also couldn't think at all. My quirk was acting up on its own, and so I felt the flames erupt from my chest, surrounding and encapsulating me into them. For once the heat didn't felt burdensome or bothersome at all. It actually felt nice, since it was a straw to reality that I could feel. As I was grabbing and focusing on it, I felt the pain kicking in and the flames getting hotter and hotter. Hawks. Dobby. Dobby. I know, get the fire extinguisher over. Hawks. I don't think that's a good idea. Endeavor. Because it isn't. Kachan. Oh, just kill him with it. Ice him. He fucking deserves it. He is a waste of space and a Deku. Mother. Deku. Toga. Useless Deku. Shigaraki. Mindless idiot. Kachan. Stupid beast. For a split second my mind got back to reality thanks to the pain I felt from my quirk. I could tell that the flames are eating up the chains and melting them, as well as the quirk cancellation things on me. The more freedom I got, the more pain I felt, and the more control I lost over my quirk, which started to get powerful. The thing was, this wasn't my whole quirk but just a small portion of it. No one ever saw me use my quirk completely, as I got some wings as well and I could regulate the heat. However, I spent too much being restricted so that my quirk was getting out of hand. Dobby. Dad? Hawks. So what we do? Endeavor. Leave him be. Dobby. The heat is gonna kill him. Endeavor. Look closer, son. He didn't suffer any burns till now. Hawks. Wait, are you suggesting that his quirk is fighting against the drugs by burning it out of his system? Endeavor. Yes. Dobby. That's ridiculous. It's gonna kill him. Hawks. Any better idea? Dobby. No. Endeavor. Let's watch him from outside the room. This one is fireproof after all. Chapter 6. Surfacing Memories. Next time I woke up and was completely back to my sense, I had such a huge headache, but I wasn't contained anymore. Not only that, but everything around me was burned down to ashes. My heat burned it all down, but it wasn't enough heat to trigger my whole quirk and get back into my previous state. It feels a lot better now. I finally can think, but my head is still killing me. Now where am I? I started looking around the room and found out that a lot of the walls were actually black and a bit of soot was covering it too. The explanation was simple for this, since I had a fire quirk. Now the thing was, I was still laying on the ground looking up at a pitch black soot covered ceiling. So my quirk run wild again. Well, at least I feel better now. I wonder for how long I've been gone out of calm. Shit, how could I forget them? I had to get out of here. It's been months that I didn't see them. Gosh, how could I simply forget about them? It was the moment that I thought about my situation that I simply remembered the place I used to stay and the kids there too. Even though it was just for a short while, but they grew on me, and I always used to come by each winter giving them some warmth. Shit. There was such a huge time span since I last seen them that it started to worry me. I had to get out and go see them. This much was clear. The kids I took care of were all homeless because of their quirks, and I knew what it meant to be quirkless, even if it was for a bit. I had to go. I don't care where I am. I had to go and see if they're still there. Without thinking twice about it, I stood up from the ashes I was laying on. It was time to actually release my black and gray feathers and get out of this room. Before I would release them from hiding them so long, I was sure to at least be outside since they were quite large and puffy. I mean, I had coal all over them since I was a phoenix. First thing first though, I looked around the room to find a door, but it was also covered in snoot. There was not a single place not covered with it. Somewhere just more and others less. Now question was, how was I about to escape from here? There was a window, but seeing as it withstand my flames, there was only a little chance of me to get out by it. It still was worth trying since the only other exit was a good damn door. Or was it? The longer I started looking around, the more I found that this place was empty, but it was also clear to me that there had to be a ventilation hatch somewhere since the door as well as this window were shut in place. Where is it? I had to find it and pray it is big enough to get through it. My hope of getting through the hatch was shattered the moment I found where it was. It was too small for me to go through that, not to mention my fear of tight spaces would kick in and my quirk following that for sure. Fuck it, I'll break the goddamn window, and if it is the last thing I do. I had to get out of here ASAP. There is a little chance that they're still there. I had to see what happened to them. I had to get out of her. My life was a mess. I partially lived together with my mother, but I also did escape and live on the streets from time to time. This was how I found that place. It was a small town a couple of km away from this city, and there I found kids my age and a lot smaller. They were all together and no one was judging the others. There was no fighting or hate at all. This was how I gradually finding myself falling in love with the place. Each time I need some time off, I flew there and took care of them. Of course I got myself in trouble for that too. Okay, this window isn't big enough to let me go through it with my wings open and out. Looks like I have to break it first then go through it. I will cut myself on the shards, but who cares? I have to know what happened to them. I need to see them again. It's been a year now that I didn't visit them at all. Who knows how many survived the harsh winter too. Stop thinking about it. I had to get there first. Without thinking any more about it, I went to the window and placed my hand on it. Now focusing on my quirk, I let everything out I had to offer at a focused place. I hoped that this would make the glass melt, and thankfully it did, but not as much as I wished it would. In the end I was left with no other choice but to use my fist and punch against the weakened glass, breaking and shattering it. After that I started to climb through, not even caring for the door or the heroes who just came in. They were simply too slow, because once my back was facing freedom, I opened my wings and used one flap to get away from the window just to look at a bewildered Hawks and Endeavor as well as Eraserhead. Hawks. I'm following. Eraserhead. Sigh, I don't get paid enough for this. Endeavor. Dobby, get to the car. Me. Whispering, damn heroes. Chapter 7. Pain and Agony. Hawks. Wait. Did I care that a hero was actually after me? Nope. I had to get out, and I also had to go and see if I could actually find the kids which I knew needed help. Needless to say that I was sure that no one actually gave them any help. It was an abandoned town which was once really glorious, but thanks to villains and a quirk run loose, or more like a virus, this city has died down completely. Where are they? While I was flying in a hurry ignoring the chicken who caught up to me, I looked around searching for a sign of life, but there was nothing. I couldn't find anything at all. Just the sheer thought about it made me bite down at my bottom lip hard until I could taste blood, and tears started to well up in my eyes. No, it can't be. Please, I can't lose them. No, I don't want to lose them. This is all my fault. I should have gotten away from the love before. Maybe I could have helped them. Hawks. Feathers, I mean kid. Where are you going? I would have told him where I was going and what was awaiting him if I only didn't know how precious LFIE, especially time, was. For these kids, time was everything, and for me who lost so much time of my own life, it was precious like nothing. Even gold and all the jewelry as well as treasures in the whole world wouldn't compare to the time I was under these drugs. Please, please, there has to be someone. Hawks. Kiddo. Stop, you can't keep up like this. He was right. That was no doubt the truth. I felt it myself. My wings were hidden for so long that it felt painful and sore to use them, but I had to. These kids were like familiarity to me because of how they acted with me. It was only thanks to them that I also knew how to use my quirk. There was this one kid who had a healing ability. He always helped me out and made sure I was fine and knew how to use my quirk. Of course they got hurt by myself and I hated myself for it, but they also always told me it was fine and healed himself up again. How I missed them. I missed every one of them. I wanted to see them, but there was no one here. Where are they? Did they move? What happened to them? Look. Izuku. While I was flying across the city, 3 kids came running out of a building screaming my name. It was only at that time that I let myself give in and go down. Relief washed over my body once I saw them, and hope came up to me once again. Hawks. Careful there. Me. Thanks. Hawks. Feathers, you're crazy for even flying this long and at that speed. The moment I tried to land, I nearly fell down since my wings gave in and stopped supporting me. Before I could however hit the floor, Hawks caught me and put me down gently. The worry in his eyes told me everything. My wings' conditions were definitely bad, and it was not only theirs but my own, since I knew that I was burning up from the inside. Still, these kids were just more important right now, or so I wanted to say, if not for my quirk to be on the edge of running loose once again. Kid. Who's that chicken? Kid 2. Get away from our Izu. Kid 3. Yeah, he is our personal hero. Hawks. Hero, huh? Me. Kids, this is Hawks, number 3 hero on the charts. Hawks. Hey there. Kid. Why are you bringing a hero? Kid 2. You don't look good. Are you okay? Me. Peachy, but where are the others? Kid 2. These kids looked between themselves as if they didn't know how to tell me something, but it was already clear to me. The reason why I didn't see any of the other kids was quite simple. Still, the reality was cruel and I didn't want to have it true. It couldn't be true. I wouldn't accept it if I wouldn't hear it from them personally. Kid 3. They all died. We waited for you. Kid 1. We never lost hope that you will come back. Hawks. Feathers? Me. Show me where they are, please. It couldn't be Toure. It just couldn't. These kids waited for me while I was drugged and lost myself. They lost a hero and fate, and yet here these kids were calling me a hero. My mind was blank as the sadness hit me. There was just nothing to think about at all. Why were they still here? Why didn't they move away? Who knows, but these were not the questions in my mind. In fact, my mind was blacking out after they guided us to a small cemetery. It wasn't much, but it was enough for me to walk in between the sticks and piled up stones. Me. Hawks. I felt my voice crack, but I had to say this since my emotions were directly linked to my quirk. What I felt now was too much for me to handle, and it would certainly run loose any moment now. Hawks. Me. Get the kids away from me, please. One turn around and I looked at the hero with a tear-stained face and a weak smile. I knew what was about to happen and I wasn't about to fight it back. Hawks. Got it. Me. Thank you. As I fell down on my knees after seeing that chicken fly away with the kids, I felt the heat rise and the sand below my feet crystallizing. Now was the time, and I knew that thanks to my emotion, my quirk would run wild. The only question was if the heat was enough to activate my full quirk and let me get back at my previous condition. If so, then the pain and the struggle I felt coming from the side effect of the drug and quirk suppression would be gone completely. I was too late. They waited for me. They hoped for a light in the darkness, and I failed them. How could I be still a hero in their eyes? I am just a killer. I tortured and burned so many lives thanks to the LOV. Can I still be here with them? Am I still good enough to be here? How could I even dare to name myself a hero or a saint, when all I am is the devil? Everyone is just suffering around me. No, I will not let this go any further. I will rise from the ashes and I will make it worth it. Finally finding my result, I let go of my quirk and even trying to get the flames up higher to finally release the flames around my wings and get back to be a phoenix. Chapter 8. Just a beginning. As I was now being on the ground, I heard some footsteps coming closer to me. This for sure wasn't the flying chicken. However, I couldn't dare to look up. I was too busy trying to get my quirk to fully work again. Dabi. Izuku. Endeavor. Back off, son. Me. Heat. Please. No matter how much I tried to get my quirk to work, I needed more heat. This was something I really needed. It was only pain that I would feel if I wouldn't get the flames out of my system and running again. Not only that, but the flames would for sure burn me from inside out. I could feel it. It has started and I needed to just let it go. I couldn't do that with the effect of long-lasting quirk suppression cuffs for months. It was still as if I had them on me. My quirk just got used to it and that was a bad thing. Dabi. Heat? Wait. Dad. Endeavor. MH. Dabi. K. Izuku, but will you be able to manage it? I looked up only now and saw the Hirores there. It was only Dabi and Endeavor, but both were there pretty close to me. There was nothing I could do for now but nod. I felt my voice shaking the very first time. It hurt and I needed to let go. I had to release the pent-up flames. It just had to be. Endeavor. All right, kid. Dabi. Let's do this. While I was looking up at them, I saw Endeavor use his palms on me. Next thing I knew, Dabi was doing the same. It was for a moment that I saw this, but it was enough to feel the instant pain coming from my quirk. The extra heat managed to break through the bottleneck I had thanks to the suppression things and the drugs. It hurt only for a bit before I felt my quirk getting back on track. The feeling was a bit weird since it felt like something flowing through my veins, but the result were more than satisfied. I felt and I didn't need to look that my wings got their flames back. Now that the heat of the flames wasn't pent up in my chest, I felt a lot better. The pain immediately subsided, but I felt so weak now that I couldn't do anything but collapse. Dabi. Izuku. I am just so tired. I need to rest. Me. Thank you. Dabi. Izuku. No. Endeavor. Calm down, son. He just needs some rest. Dabi. But. Endeavor. It's fine. I'll take him from here. Dabi. Will he be okay again? Endeavor. You saw him absorbing our flames. Besides, he seems a lot better now. Dabi. True. Just like that I felt a pair of arms around me, picking me up. Since my conscience was still there, I could hear them talk. My body was just so sluggish and out of energy that I had to rest. Nothing bad about it. I just needed it. Hawks. What the hell happened? His wings. Dabi. You're late, chicken. Hawks. I am late? Bro, I was here the whole time. I just had to get the kids away from here. Endeavors. Kid, are they safe? My dear friends. The kids I always used to watch over, are they okay? Hawks. Yeah, apparently he is their hero because they started to tell me they won't abandon their hero. Dabi. Hero? You mean, Hawks. MH. Endeavor. Looks like we will accept Nezu's offer. Hawks. What offer? Endeavor. Nezu wants to make a villain rehabilitation system. Since he is known as a villain, it would be perfect for him to get back on track. Dabi. Sounds perfect. Hawks. Yup. Though why are you carrying him? He is mine. Endeavor. Sure, wanna burn yourself on the wings? Hawks. I'll stay over. Endeavor. Damn chicken brain. Dabi. Bird brain. Hawks. Hey. Endeavor. Let's get him to rest properly. That was all I could hear before my consciousness slipped away too. I was just too tired and happy I finally could use my whole quirk. Little did I know what they meant with villain rehabilitation system, but I was sure to find out the next day because it was then that I was actually met with Hawks, Dabi and Endeavor, including Nezu and Eraserhead. They told me that I was supposed to be in the hero class and that they wanted to give me another chance in life. You know, I didn't cared about that and immediately started asking about the kids. This pleased Nezu a lot, or so it looked for me, because that rat started to smile more and more saying they are fine and he got them some nice families, Besides that, he said that my heart was on the right spot for getting in the hero course, whatever that meant. In short, I was about to get into the hero course and had to stay there for the rest of the year till I would get my own damn hero license. I wasn't even asked if I wanted to be a hero or not, or if I wanted to be there, but you know. It was a second chance, and I could only be a fool not to accept that second chance. I never wanted to be a villain after all. It was the dergs that clouded my vision, and I didn't even really had control over myself for months. The time I lost was just horrible. I could get it back, and I couldn't turn time back, but I could look in front of me and walk down the path I now chose for myself. This might not be the best, but who cares? It was something, and I was sure that this was better than the future I had now in front of me. All in all, I accepted, and this was how I ended up in Hawkscare, but also at UA. I mean, it's not as if I never thought about it, it's just something more or less impossible to get into UA, so I didn't even wanted to try. They don't only offered hero classes but others too, and the others were as great as the hero class. Oh, how I wished to get into UA at some point. It was literally my dream school, so I couldn't have been happier when they told me that I was about to get into it.